You're tuning into Black and White Sports on YouTube. The no-holds-barred truth on sports. The main event starts now.
All right, Black and White Sports supporters, we're going to talk about the New England Patriots, and it's getting worse and worse. The outcrying, not only from the fan base, but now the media, the outcrying is getting loud. The pressure is getting extremely immense on Bill Belichick and Robert Kraft, right? Robert Kraft's got to make a decision, and two of the biggest staunch Bill Belichick supporters over the years has been one, Colin Cowherd, of course, of the Herd, FS1, and one, Tom E. Curran. We all know Tom E. Curran, right? Over at NBC Sports, got the Patriots Talk podcast. I listen to it every week, and really good show. If you're a Patriots fan, you're not checking out Tom E. Curran's pod and Phil Perry's, then you got to go check it out. You got to start consuming it because it's must-listen stuff for a Patriots fan. So anyway, they have come out and, man, Colin Cowherd blasted Bill Belichick and said, it's time to go. It's time to go. And we'll watch that video. We'll listen to what Cowherd's got to say. But first, we're going to start with Tom E. Curran because he has blasted Belichick over Mac Jones and what's happened with Mac Jones. And look, no matter how you cut it, no matter how you feel about Mac Jones, you cannot argue that Bill Belichick has turned this kid's career into a disaster. I mean, they drafted a quarterback in the first round. He has the best season out of all of those quarterbacks drafted. He had a better rookie season than Trevor Lawrence. And then it was like, I am going to kill a young quarterback's career. I don't think Belichick intentionally tried to do that, but Belichick thought Mac Jones was Tom Brady. Nobody's Tom Brady. Nobody. You couldn't have done this if it was still Jimmy Garoppolo. Okay? You couldn't have done that. Or insert any other quarterback here. The other day, I sit down, I made a list of quarterbacks. I think I literally came up with 3 that might be able to make something out of this mess. 3 in the entire league. Oh, so let's get to this first because, boy, Curran did not hold back. This is Yahoo. The 2023 NFL season, especially the last 3 weeks, has been a nightmare for the Patriots quarterback Mac Jones. Statistically, the third-year signal caller is among the worst quarterbacks in the league. But even those calling for Jones to be benched must admit the offense struggles aren't all his fault. A porous offensive line and glaring lack of playmakers certainly haven't helped the cause during the 1-5 start to the team's campaign. How did we go from Jones's strong rookie season to this? On Tuesday's Quick Slants, Patriots insider Tom E. Curran highlighted the questionable decisions made by Belichick and company that led to Jones's downfall in New England. Quote, the kid who had the most promising rookie season out of 5 quarterbacks drafted in the first round is handcuffed for not being trustworthy, Curran said. Does he deserve to have his hands tied? Yes, he does. Did he deserve the decisions that led to his monumental regression? Decisions like failing to put a succession plan for Josh McDaniels in place, like putting a pair of plumbers in charge of wiring the house with Joe Judge and Matt Patricia, like swinging and missing on half of the offensive free agents taken in 2021 Spindorama, like trying to change the offense, like failing to attack the tackle position in the draft or free agency, moving on from Jacoby Myers, or deciding DeAndre Hopkins wouldn't help while giving raises to Devontae Parker and Trent Brown. Nope. That avalanche of miscues isn't on Mac Jones, but he's the one suffocating under that avalanche. Mac's got his limitations. I've detailed them since he got here, especially the lack of velocity on his throws. but we never got to see the kid do things he does well because he was put in a position to fail. Wow. I mean, that's strong words from a guy that has tried. If you listen to his podcast, Tommy Curran tries to be positive about this team. He had them going 10-7 this year. 10-7. I think he had them beating the Cowboys. It was a disaster against the Cowboys, and then a disaster versus the Saints. I said, no, there is not a coach in this league that survives the start that the Patriots have already had. That after the Saints game, that would have been what they call a tarmac firing, okay? A tarmac firing is when the owner meets the coach on the tarmac at the airport and fires him at the airport in front of the plane. They don't let the coach back on the team plane. We've all seen that. It has happened in the NFL a lot. I understand you're not going to do that with Bill Belichick. I get that. He shouldn't be handled that way. I get that too. But that is how bad things are right now. So that brings us over to Cowherd. Okay, again, a guy that has been all in on Belichick. A guy that has been all in on the Patriots up until about 3 weeks ago, when it was pretty obvious something was crazy. Now, I'm going to tell you the one thing I said. There were a lot of things during Mac's rookie year I liked. But the one thing I noticed, two games. He played in that Tom Brady homecoming game, and he went toe-to-toe with Tom Brady in that game. You could tell that atmosphere was not too big for Mac Jones. He played a hell of a game in that game, and he went toe-to-toe with Tom Brady in the Adele Hello game. Does anybody remember that? And then he went out with the Dallas Cowboys, and he faced them in Dallas, and I mean, it was a war in that game, back and forth. And there was 2 plays. Mac Jones threw a pick 6 to the Dallas Cowboys. And on the very next offensive play that he got in his hand, he threw a bomb for a touchdown. I mean, I threw a pick 6, came right back, boom, hit him with a haymaker. And I saw that and was like, this kid can play starting quarterback in the NFL and make big-time throws. I don't see that quarterback anymore. I don't know what happened to him. All I can think of is what happened the last 2 years. Destroyed that kid's career. It's crazy. It is absolutely nuts. So let's listen to Cowherd.
Eddie Bruschi, who's another just great guy, said that Bill Belichick should retire after this season. Quote, Don Shula, doesn't matter. You're the better coach. Multiple Super Bowls over Shula. You're the better coach. I agree, but I think Bill Belichick thinks Mac Jones is the problem. And I don't think Bill Belichick truly believes that Robert Kraft would fire him. If I own the Patriots, I would do 3 or 4 things in this order. I would call Belichick, thank him, build him a statue, write him a check, and move on. I would then hire Ben Johnson, the offensive coordinator for the Detroit Lions. Now, number 3, depending on where I'm drafting, I would draft Caleb Williams or Drake May over Mac Jones. But if I can't get one of those 2, then I would simply use draft capital, rebuild the tight end and wide receiver group, and give Mac 1 more year to see if he can win games. It has not been fair. They literally drafted 3 guards and 2 kickers. They re-signed Devontae Parker. The Jacoby Myers situation really illustrates how out of touch Belichick is. Jacoby Myers, for any of us watching the Patriots, was like a bright light at wide receiver. Could separate. had twice as many catches and touchdowns as Devontae Parker. They let him go, and 4 years younger. Cheaper. They let him go for Devontae Parker. And now Jacoby Myers with a coach you guys don't like, right? Josh McDaniels, a quarterback you don't like, Jimmy Garoppolo, and Aiden O'Connell is having a very good year. That move alone illustrates how absolutely tone deaf to offensive skill players this organization is.
Okay, so he just said it. The one move alone, and we've talked about this, Jacoby Myers letting him go, shows you a level of tone deafness that Bill Belichick has in his situation. And my thing is, they're going to have a high draft pick. Are you going to let him use it? Are you going to let him run another draft? That's the thing. Continuous swings and misses. And when you seem like you hit on a guy, Demario Douglas would be the number 2 wide receiver on this team. I'm not too sure I wouldn't cut Devontae Parker and Juju. Demario Douglas would be elevated to number 2 behind Kendrick Bourne, even though neither one of them are really a number 1 receiver. I would make the veteran, Kendrick Bourne, the number 1. I'd make Pop Douglas the number 2. And both those guys would get 8 to 10 targets a game, maybe 12. Speed, 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 and try to make something happen from a playmaker standpoint. Wow. Yeah, I mean, that's pretty eye-opening. Two of Belichick's biggest supporters. One saying he destroyed Mac Jones. He trashed Mac Jones. And the other is saying, look, you got to let him go. Ben Johnson, that's an interesting thought. I hadn't thought about that, even though he was sniffing around and clubs wanted him and was interested in him, and he chose to go back to the Lions, which I think is pretty cool because I think he thinks they can win the Super Bowl. No doubt. Look at what he has done with Jared Goff. Jared Goff is a good quarterback, folks. In case anybody didn't notice, he had a great year last year. He's having another good year this year. Is Mac Jones that different than Jared Goff? You do have to wonder. Now, I think Cowherd's right. You get a chance to get Drake May or Caleb Williams, you swing and take it. But Marvin Harrison Jr. will be setting around at number 4 next year. That draft is loaded from 7 through 20 with big-time tackles and wide receivers. You going to let Belichick take those swings? Yikes. Good luck. Tell me what you think, black and white sports supporters. Peace. I'm out. Till next time.
Thanks for watching the show. Be sure to like, comment, and subscribe. Be sure to tune in next time on Black and White Sports.